girls, I'm Coral. Welcome back to my channel. I'm here today with the mid-year book freak out tag, which was originally created by Earl Grey Books, so I'll leave a link to their video down in the description if you'd care to watch that. Here I am, and I'm gonna do it, so make sure you watch this too. So, okay, first question. Best book you've read so far? Hello, this again. My favorite has definitely been The Raptor and the Wren by Chuck Wendig, which is the 5th Miriam Black book, and this is just such a great series about a woman named Miriam who can see someone's death if she touches them, and it's just like fucked up her entire life, and she's had to make some really hard and really bad decisions and choices, and she's trying to kind of rectify that and fix her life up in these last couple books, and things are not going well for her. And this is the second to last book in the series, and boy, the stakes are very, very high, and I cannot wait to get to the last book. Number 2 is the best sequel you've read. I mean, really the answer would be The Raptor and the Wren, but I couldn't choose. I didn't want to choose that for both. So I think the second best sequel I've read this year was Thunderhead by Neil Shusterman. I haven't read very many book sequels, and that's pretty normal for me. So, you know, the pool wasn't very big, but, you know, this was a really great sequel. I actually liked it better than the first book. This is about a utopian future where people don't die from disease, from illness, from accidents, from age, anything like that. They don't, oh my god, my cats, I'm sorry. They don't die anymore. So there's been this government entity that's been put together called the Scythedom, where these people who are scythes have to kind of like, you know, kill people to keep the population down. And in the first book, we follow two characters who are competing for the role to be a scythe's apprentice. And then in this book, it's come to find out that, like, just like any government, the Scythedom might be a little bit corrupt. And so, you know, they're trying to fix all that stuff up. But it's really interesting political schemings and things like that. And it's a great book. This is another one where I just have one more book left in the series, and I hope it's gonna be good. Question 3 is a new release you haven't read yet, but want to. I've got a couple here. First, The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas, and this is about a woman who gets married. She's a newlywed, and she goes to live in her husband's like kind of spooky house with his family members who aren't very kind to her, and it seems like there's some sort of ghostly presence in the house or something like that. Also, Echo by Thomas Oldhuvelt, and this is about the survivor of some sort of like outdoors accident on a mountain, and I can't remember much about the synopsis of this, but I know that he's not telling people the truth about what really happened, and he wants to get back there, and I don't really know why. But also a really great cover. And then also The Violence by Delilah S. Dawson. This is about a wife in a really abusive relationship, and she uses this onslaught of this disease that makes people aggressive and crazy. She uses that to escape her family. Number 4 is most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I'd really like to read Blackmouth by Ronald Malfi, Anybody Home by Michael Seidlinger. Man, there's so many, but there's also some that have been pushed back. So I don't know, there's a lot. From Below by Darcy Coates, The Pallbearers Club by Paul Tremblay. There are so many horror books coming out in the second half of the year. It's absolutely fucking bananas, you guys. Number 5 is The Biggest Disappointment. And I think that's The Conqueror Worms by Brian Keene. I just heard so many good things about this from people, and you know, people who really like Brian Keene, not that I don't or anything, but they say that this is one of his best. This is one of their favorites of all of his work. And it's kind of like, I feel kind of like my experience with Richard Lehman, where it's like, I feel like I read the one that fans say is the best or one of the best, and it's like that let me down. So like, how am I supposed to feel about everything else this person's written if his quote-unquote best book is like not very good? And this is, I think, the 4th Brian Keane book that I've read at this point, so like I know that I do like some of his stuff, but yeah, I don't know, this one was just not it for me. Number 6 was the biggest surprise, and that is definitely Inspection by Josh Malerman, just because I feel like, I don't know, I just have a really dumb personality trait where sometimes if things get really, really popular, it's a huge turnoff for me. And so after Bird Box, right, everyone loved Bird Box, and I liked Bird Box too. But then like the Bird Box movie comes out, and now everyone is the biggest Josh Malerman fan ever, and like he's writing all these new books and stuff like that, and that's great, but like for some reason that totally turns me off, and I don't know why, and it's something that I guess I need to like work on combating in my mind, right? Because I picked this up not really expecting much, but really enjoying it, although it does have some major flaws with just how real people in the real world work compared to how people in this book work, you know what I mean? But I did really enjoy that, really enjoy this nonetheless, and it was a huge surprise that I liked it being so contrary, you know. I just like, I don't know why I do that. I'm just feel very contrary. Like, you just have to always be the one saying either no or yes when everyone else is saying yes or no, and I don't know why. Number 7 is a new favorite author, whether it's a debut author or an author that you've read for the first time this year. And for me, that's Megan Abbott. I read The Turnout this year, which was so much twisty, like family drama fun. And I can't say for sure that Megan Abbott is a favorite author because I've only read one of her books, but she's definitely an author that I'm really interested in looking through, you know, her back catalog and like seeing what else she has to offer to me, because I really liked The Turnout. It was great. Question number 8 is your new fictional crush, and I don't really know how to answer this because I don't feel like I have crushes on book characters. Maybe I'm just too old for it. Maybe it's because most of the books I read are spooky and stuff like that. Like, there's not really love interests in a lot of the books that I read. But I will say, rereading one of my favorites from growing up, rereading one of my favorite series, this is Dark Angel by V.C. Andrews. And in this, there is a love interest, and his name is Troy, and he's just very sensitive and thoughtful. He's creative and mechanically minded and things like that. Like, he could fix anything. He's just like a cute little tinkerer who makes train sets and shit like that, you know? And now, I don't know if that appeals to me so much, but I did have a big crush on him when I was reading this series as a teenager. He was just like the perfect guy in my eyes, even though now reading it, it's like, he definitely could use some work, I guess, you know? He's just kind of, it's almost like the opposite of like a manic pixie dream girl. Like, he's a manic pixie boyfriend, and not in a great way, I guess. Number 9 is your new favorite fictional character. I think that is probably Wayne from The Alloy of Law by Brandon Sanderson. The main character here, Waxilium, he has this weird partner, a law partner, a partner in crime, or a partner in order? Anyways, his name is Wayne, and he's very funny, and he loves to play dress up, and he's really good at it, and he's just such a really funny character that brings a lot of like levity to the story. That, I mean, the story itself is not super dark or anything, but it definitely makes me laugh. He definitely made me laugh. Number 10, a book that made you cry. I don't think I had any of those this time. I don't think. I was looking through like my list last night and nothing, I don't know, like maybe if I went back and watched some of my like video wrap-ups, but One that did make me sad, at least, was The Last Day of the Dinosaurs by Riley Black. And she does such a great job of making the dinosaurs in this story seem like they're characters and not just an object that she's talking about, you know what I mean? And she really brings them to life and tells a little bit of a story. And it's only like a couple times that she does this. Like, we're not following one character dinosaur like throughout the whole book, but she'll have these like short little, I don't know, stories about what they're doing at that point and stuff like that, and she just makes them feel so real. And then it's like, and then they died, and you're like, oh my god, that poor little thing, that poor little T-Rex, you know, it's just so sad. But yeah, that was a really, really great book too. Definitely up there for one of my favorites of the year if you like nonfiction and if you like dinosaurs. Number 11 is a book that made you happy. And you know, not a lot of books I read make me happy, but I did reread Aragon this year. I actually need to go through and finish the second 2 books in this series so I can, you know, finish my whole reread. But this is a book that holds a lot of memories and nostalgia for me. And even though reading it now as an adult, I'm like, this definitely isn't as good as I thought it was, you know what I mean? It's not exactly well crafted, but it just makes my heart happy when I read it. And the reason I picked this book up in the first place was because a very dear friend of mine borrowed it to me. So like, I always, you know, think about her and this book together, and makes me happy because yeah, it just makes me happy. Number 12 is the most beautiful book you've bought or received this year, and that is definitely The Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Su Lin Tan. And this was in a fairy loot box, and it's got these really beautiful sprayed edges that match the decoration or the illustration on the cover. Just so absolutely beautiful. Didn't love the book a whole bunch, but boy, was it, whew, it is a beautiful book. All right, number 13, the last prompt. What books do you still have to read this year? And let's see, I mean, so many, but I've picked 3 in particular. You've Lost a Lot of Blood by Eric LaRocca. I love his writing, and I'm very excited to get into this. I have no fucking idea what it's about, but like, I just don't need to know. I know I'm gonna like it. Also, The Bright Lands by John Fram. This is like a thriller about a star quarterback on like a high school football team that goes missing, and I think there might be aliens. Don't know for sure, but I think that's like why I bought this, because I heard that. Also, last but not least, certainly not, is Blacktop Wasteland by S.A. Cosby. I fucking loved his book, Razorblade Tears. It was probably my favorite book last year. So naturally, like, I need to get to this one. And gosh, this is about a man named Bug who is trying to leave behind his life of crime. He used to be like a really infamous getaway driver, and he is unfortunately pulled back into that life. And yeah, that's all I know about this. Like, I just really, it's got to go on my TBR for next month, I think. Razorblade Tears was so good, and I'm hoping that I mean, I heard good things about this when it came out, so why the fuck not? All right, everybody, that is the mid-year book freak out tag. I'd love to see if you've done this in like a blog post or a video. I'd love to see that, to let me know. And that's it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you later. Goodbye.